Good morning all, Hardin here, back with a slightly different video this time, not much action, in-game action I mean, but more of a little bit of a story. As you can see here, I'm sitting in my pod, and this all happened, the reason I'm sitting in my pod, well basically happened in the last half an hour, so I thought I'd share the little story with you. So there I was with my little fleet, ratting, minding my own business. Had a corp mate in the fleet with me who was clearing some smalls. I was just clearing some larges and mediums. Anyway, just kind of basically minding my own business when we noticed that there was about 6 greys wandering around our space. They've been flagged up for a long time, but they were slowly getting nearer and nearer. It included a Mach, or sorry, 2 Machs, a Bellie Cov Interdictor, a Rupture Interdictor, a Daredevil, and I think there was something else in that fleet. So it was about five to six ships wandering around. So I had kind of flagged up in the fleet. I said, look, there's some kind of reds roaming around, be careful. And then after a little while, I just had a call from work. So I was a little bit distracted, but so I hadn't noticed that they'd actually got very close to us. But I was still kind of keeping an eye on local when I did notice one of them enter local. So I immediately did what I should have done, which was walk my fleet to the station. And again, bear in mind, I was in my Torp setup, my Torp ratting setup. I was actually using, and this is another video I'm going to do at some point where I'm going to, it's my afterburner setup, because I've actually found that the afterburners work better than the missile tracking computer in terms of closing with the rats and boosting my efficiency. And I was going to do a video on that in the next couple of days anyway, just to kind of demonstrate how that works, which works very well. But unfortunately, it's even weaker in PvP. Again, it's just with the missile tracking, it kind of extends your range out to about 31 kilometers on the torpedoes. But if you don't have that missile tracking computer on there, the range is only 26, which means people can actually tackle you and stay out of range at about 30 kilometers. And again, I didn't think that would be too bothersome because basically I normally don't get caught because I keep an eye on local, I keep an eye on Alliance and the intel channels, and basically I do the wise thing and dock up if there's a fleet coming along that I can't tackle or change into a PvP fit. But anyway, in this case, I did walk my ships to the station. One automatically docked, the other 2 were sitting outside the station, and I was about to dock when I saw my corp member had a little help SOS in the fleet chat. So I was like, oh, bugger. I can't leave this guy out here to die. He was in a rattlesnake. He said he was tackled by a Daredevil, so I immediately warped the two Ravens that I had outside the station to him. Unfortunately, this is where I made like a big mistake. I should have refit the one that had already docked. I should have refit there and then for something that was better equipped for PvP and especially for dealing with the smaller ships. But I didn't. I kind of got the case of the shakes. I was like, okay, got to get out, got to help, let's get them there. I didn't think about it, and basically I undocked that ship and I warped it to the fight as well. And to be honest, actually the fight started off brilliantly because I think basically they had tackled the rattlesnake. Their 2 Machariels were actually in warp at probably pretty much the same time my 3 Ravens were, and I don't think they expected 3 Ravens to land on top of their Machs. Which they did, and unfortunately again I had no tackle on my own ships. They were just PVE setup, but you guys know the damage that my ships do. I think that kind of took them by surprise because I basically reduced the first Mach ultra quick. Let me just kind of show you, this is the chap here, basically this guy called MILF Slayer from Hell. I don't know which alliance that is. But basically quite a good pilot. I think from what other people are saying, he's a multi-boxer, that he's flying all of this, so he's got a lot of talent. And anyway, my Ravens landed on top of them. These were the first 2 that, as I said, were undocked, so they arrived there first. And basically they flattened that Mach super quick. And then, anyway, the second Mach, basically we turned onto them, but obviously the guy had learned the lesson and he had obviously activated his warp out. Still got him down to about 10% structure. It was in that region. He didn't have much hull left and was about to pop. So at this stage of the fight, everything was 100% rosy. Unfortunately, then, as I mentioned, this is where my kind of setting up and my PvE fit, the problem that came in. Basically, the guy was good enough that he kept his Daredevil, his Rupture Interdictor, his Bellie Cov Ops out of range. He kept the rattlesnake tackled, and he kept my main raven tackled, and he kept picking and picking and picking, and there was nothing I could do about it. Now, again, I say that, but again, in hindsight, this is when I should have been pinging Alliance and Discord for some reinforcements, because there's a lot of people in the area, but I was too busy concentrating on the fight. So I could have got help, and it took them a long time because I'd already taken out most of their DPS. It took them a long time, but unfortunately my tank again was just like a standard PvE tank. It was just 2 hardeners and 1 shield booster, which lasted a long time. But unfortunately they gradually picked me down, and they picked the rattlesnake down. Did manage to kill one of this, did manage to stray into web range at one point, and we managed to kill this fella, a Rupture Interdictor, but unfortunately in the end we ended up losing my Raven Striker here, my beloved Raven Striker. And I think I have 2 B types on there. I'm slowly collecting those, don't have that much cash. Don't really play that many hours in the day, but they killed, I think I got one of them back. Luckily, you can see here I've got absolutely tons of saved up, almost 60k of saved up IP, so it wasn't that painful a loss, and it was actually a really good fight. I had a lot of fun, and again learned something. I really should have taken a little bit of extra time instead of just rushing into the fight. Should have taken a little bit of extra time to refit at least the 3rd Raven, to give myself some more range. I should have put some rapids on there, and then the Orthrus was the other one. So it was a Daredevil, Orthrus, Bellie Cov, and I'm forgetting one other. Let me see. So Orthrus, Daredevil, Bellie Cov, and the Rupture Interdictor. So those ones actually were able to wear me down. And if I'd put rapids on there, I would have cleared those. I cleared those out. But again, in the heat of the moment, I didn't think of it. And there you go. It's just my lack of PvP experience showing. So anyway, guys, I'm just going to jump back in. I hope that has recorded. Again, jump back in here. As you can see, I'm sitting in my pod. Oh, losing connection because I was disconnected. I sit in my pod, lost my Raven, feeling very depressed about it, and thought I would share. Hopefully, maybe you might learn something from this. Yeah, and if you are in a fleet, don't be the one who gets caught and, and makes all your court mates have to come and rescue you. Try and keep an eye on local, try and keep an eye on Alliance, and get docked up if there's people, or at least change into a PvP fit. Anyway, thank you guys. Hope your day starts better than mine. Take care. I'll have another video soon. Bye.